Hey everybody, welcome to our 9 a.m. accountability call. As always, I'm Adam Ringler, and I am here to try to provide you a little bit of information about what you can do to stay compliant and stay accountable in your training week, right? So if you're watching this, you're either watching it on YouTube, if I made this public. Most of the times I try to make these videos unlisted. I do it to keep it centered around our community, our Skool base, Skool based community called the Former Athlete Society. If you're watching it, then you're already probably a Skool member and a former athlete that's participating there. So nonetheless, I kind of want to get into today, right? These are meant to be short little micro dose videos that you can end up watching to stay compliant, to stay locked in, to stay engaged with your training. I do it because I want to build accountability throughout our training week. When you start to state something publicly, when you're talking to somebody else and you're saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to train, X amount of times during the week. I'm going to end up eating and hitting my macros. These are the things that when you publicly state those things, you end up staying accountable to what you're planning on doing, right? There's some social pressure to actually doing the things that you say that you're going to do. So nonetheless, I have a few topics I want to kind of discuss throughout the training through this video call, and hopefully they resonate with you, right? And hopefully they give you a little bit of some ideas into how you can approach your training week and what you're going to accomplish this week. So the first thing I want to talk about is this idea of the bare minimum strategy, right? And what I mean by the bare minimum strategy is that B work, not A minus, not A plus, but B work, oftentimes it beats no work at all. So that's sometimes wild for a lot of us overachievers, for us elite athletes. But why it ends up working is because some of the most consistent, long-lasting or longest-lasting athletes I know, they're not always operating at that A plus margin all the time. Sometimes during their work, it's simply B plus, right? And that sustainability ends up winning out over the longevity of their long career or the sustainability of what they're trying to accomplish. The reason I bring this up is because sometimes life gets busy. And let's be honest, life gets busy all the time, right? And most former athletes fall off because they can't expect themselves to train like it's still a 6 a.m. lift group. They can't expect to, they just sort of abandon their plan when it's not perfect, when it's not perfection, when it's not going exactly how they wanted their training to go. So here's the shift. Stop aiming for always optimal and start aiming for non-zero. Non-zero sessions end up killing momentum. They kill consistency, and they end up killing your training over time. So if you can't hit a full 60-minute workout, cool, that's fine. Do 30 minutes, do 15 minutes of circuits in your garage and get on with your day. Maybe you didn't meal prep like you planned. That's fine. Make a decent plate instead of just ordering trash, right? Or Grubhubbing food to your work or things like that. The bare minimum isn't lazy. It's a lifeline when things get a little hectic and crazy. B work done consistently ends up beating A work skipped entirely. The second thing I want to talk about is framing nutrition as a performance choice, not just a personality trait. So when we talk about food for a second, we need to kind of unwrap the psychology around it, the psychological approach in which we take when we start thinking about food. Somewhere along the way, we start labeling food decisions as good or bad. This binary approach of it's either good or it's bad, and there's nothing in between. And that's just not food itself, but sometimes that gets wrapped up into how we are or how we approach ourselves. I was bad today. I got off plan, and I just derailed and I was terrible, right? You ever say something like that? Chances are, I'm sure you have. And that's not just performance language, that's guilt language, right? So we need to start making this shift. We need to shift this to treating nutrition like performance. You're not a good or bad person for what you ate. You just made a call that's either moved you closer to your goals or further away from them. That's it, right? There's no language as far as I'm good, I'm bad. That's a mentality that we need to unwrap from nutrition and food. Former athletes need to unhook their identity from that choice or from the choices that they make. It's not I'm weak because I ate pizza. It's that meal didn't serve my recovery or my performance goals. I'll make a better one next time. So maybe a little less shame in it and a little bit more data, right? So unwrapping that approach. The third thing on this accountability call I want to talk about is the hidden trap of weekend chaos. And we're all probably guilty of this. And listen, I'm not immune to doing this as well. How do we set some healthy guardrails on what we do throughout the training week or the weekend? We get to Friday. Does our diet die on Friday? Does it last into Saturday and Sunday? And nutrition are good choices, right? And this one oftentimes hits athletes hard. Most former athletes do okay Monday through Thursday. The routine's there, the meals are there, they're structured, their sleep is okay. But then Friday night comes around or Friday afternoon and boom, it's like all of the discipline that you've had through the week explodes. So one dinner out turns into a full weekend of skipping meals or skipping training or staying up late, overeating, over drinking perhaps, and the cycle just resets on Monday. So that is a recipe for moving, or at least taking one step forward and oftentimes two steps backwards. So here's what I've learned, and I just want to share this with you, is that you don't need to be perfect on the weekend. You just need to have some guardrails, right? So maybe it's no alcohol on Fridays, but you still train Saturday morning. Maybe it's committing to hitting your macros at breakfast or breakfast and lunch perhaps, and then allowing yourself to have a dinner. Maybe it's something as simple as on Sundays you do a long walk or a hike or something like that, no matter what. The guardrails help keep your wheels from flying completely off. You don't need to just have rigid rules, but just some reliable bumpers to actually making the choices that you know are really important, right? So I ask this of you. What are some of the things that you're going to do this upcoming week, right? Whether it's nutritionally, whether it's how you approach the weekend, whether it's how you disentangle the complexity that is that binary approach of good meals, means I'm a good person, or, eating poorly or off your nutrition plan means I'm a bad person, right? How do you build some of this consistency in, right? Do you stick to a rigid schedule where all of your workouts have to be perfect, or do you settle for a B+ workout or a B- workout when things go like chaos, right? So often chaos is a part of what we navigate as professionals, right? That's why we are professionals. That's why we work in the capacities that we do. It's not always going to be perfect for you. So how do you manage your nutrition? How do you manage your training? How do you manage your psychology when you are no longer operating when things are perfect? That's my challenge to you. That's my ask of you. If any of this has resonated with you, right, I want you to drop into our school-based community group, the Former Athletes Society. I want you to drop a comment in here and tell me how you are going to try to change maybe something, a way that you're approaching the weekend. I want you to also share what you're doing this week, right? This is why I have these accountability calls earlier in the week on Tuesdays, because I want you to publicly state how you're training, what you're doing, what you're accomplishing this week. I'm going to go ahead, in addition to sharing this video, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to tell you what my plan is, what I'm training, how I'm trying to get better as a coach, as a person, as my body composition as well. And I invite you to try to share with me what you're doing as well. If any of this also resonates with you, share it with another teammate, right? We all have teammates. We all have people that was part of your all-conference team, or a teammate, or a team captain, or somebody that you're still close with. Share it with them, right? If you're getting any value out of this information, I'm sure your teammates would also get some value. They don't have to be a part of the organization or institution that I work with. Any former athlete, as long as you were or are a college athlete, you can join our Former Athletes Society, and you can benefit from learning about your body, about fueling, about your psychology, about your recovery, about your training process. I want to give all of these tools to you so that you have the tools, the habits, the disciplines, the behaviors, all necessary to be able to be the very best version of yourself now that you're a pro, right? All of that stuff, your performance, your body composition, your fitness, that doesn't need to just simply die the moment you graduate and you leave sport. You can continue carrying this stuff with you well past your playing days and well into your professional days. So, as always, I appreciate you. This upcoming Thursday, not next Thursday, this Thursday, 9 a.m., we have our question and answer session. if you attend live, right? There's a Zoom link in our Skool community group. If you join, you can attend live. If you attend live, you get your questions answered first dibs, right? You'll be first on the line to get all of your answers or questions answered, right? If you don't attend live, you can still email me your questions, right? You can email me at Skool, Skool, at adamringler.com. You could also direct message those to me as well. And that's a second tier, right? If there's no email questions, no direct message questions, and you're not attending live, then I'll probably just ramble and share whatever I want to share. But those are the three ways of getting your questions to me, and I will make sure that those people that do that have first priority in getting their questions answered, because I want to try to deliver some information to you as far as how you can reclaim your very best days. As always, I appreciate you. Drop into the comments, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And until next time, I will see you guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you.